Good morning, everyone. It's Cameron here from Core Health Coaching. Hope you're well. On today, we have our health tip number 2 today. So if you joined me for last week, we talked a little bit about water. So after I finished our Facebook Live, I actually really worked out I didn't cover a lot of the things that I wanted to. So today we're going to talk a little bit about water quality. So just give me a couple of seconds while I just send a couple of links to some people. Just letting everyone know that I'm on. So, and we can join back. Great. Okay. So, water quality. Before I go into water quality, what I want to do is actually just recap on what we talked about last week. So one of the things is we talked about water being the most important macronutrient. Now, there was a whole heap of reasons around that, like, every metabolic process in our body uses water. So it was just really critical that we get this one thing right, and hence why I took changes on a regular basis. So if you're drinking more from last week, well done, fantastic. So we covered about, why it was important, how it impacts the body, so that was pretty critical. Also, what the right amount is for you. Now, everyone's slightly different with that. We talked about body weight stuff, but there was a number of adjustments to actually add to that as well. Hello for those joining us. So we talked about the right amount, also adjustments to the amount, and also some extras that we could actually have with the water as well. So that was what we talked about last week. So if you're interested in that video that I did, just write down, if you can, just health tip number 1. So type that in now for us. And what I'll do is I'll send you the link. Okay. So water, again, doesn't sound too sexy as a health tip, but to be honest, given it's the most important macronutrient, it's really critical. Now, before I go too far down this path, I just wanted to clarify one thing. Okay, as we talk through today, is that I'm going to really talk about some of the advanced sort of techniques or having an understanding on some of the things around water. It is more important that you actually get water, okay? So don't overwhelm by saying that. Look, just have water to start off with. Then once you've got that into a regular pattern, then start to improve the quality of water, okay? So water's important, but, what is quality of water? Okay, so there's a couple of things that we need to be aware of with water quality. One is it really is that we want to be free from toxins, chemicals, and heavy metals. Now we are so blessed in Australia that we don't have the quality of water that there is in overseas. Like China's got a real problem with if they have water. There's a lot of quality of water issues there. But we're lucky that we've got a really good source of water, but there's ways that we can improve that, okay? So we know, toxins and chemicals leach into our water supply. So what we want to do is really improve that sort of quality. So there's a couple of things that I'll go through with that. But look, I can't move on unless I talk about fluoride. There is a lot of different types of commentary around fluoride. I personally don't agree with fluoride in the water, and there's a couple of reasons why. The first one is that if I want fluoride in my water, I'd love to be able to choose it, and rather than having it, just in dental health. Don't get me wrong, understand that there's a lot of research supporting dental health, but at the start, fluoride is so difficult to get out of the water supply. You can have the best filters and you can have the quality water, but it still comes from these toxins in our water supply that we have a real difficult coming out. Apart from the whole conversation around, is it good, isn't it bad? Look, I get it, and look, I just agree in the freedom of choice in regards to if I want it, I'll put it in. If I don't want it, don't put it in for me, okay? So definitely fluoride is a very topical issue. I personally don't, I would prefer it not to be in there, but at the same time is that, I can understand some of the research behind that. I would just rather choose it. So quality of water, again, if we're coming back to that, is having the water hardness. There's a book called Healthy Water by Martin Fox. he talks about water hardness on a regular basis. So he sort of says that it should be over 100 milligrams per litre. So the other thing to think about with quality of water is what we call as TDSs. TDSs is total dissolvable solids in your water. So predominantly these are minerals. So a water bottle, say for instance, on the back of it, it will actually list your TDSs and how high that is. So we're looking at TDSs around 300, and predominantly it is around your mineral content. It's rich minerals in your water. So it's really quite novel for people that don't have an understanding of water. And look, to be honest, there is a whole heap of information out there, but at the same time, have an understanding that, you know, quality of water is as important as quality of food. So water quality has so many different impurities into it, but, you know, TDSs, always a mouthful, but TDSs is about that mineral content. So if you're getting a whole heap of minerals from your water, it means there's not as much a heavy reliance on the food. That we have a lot of water during the day. It's great to have really healthy water. And obviously there's another part to that is actually called our pH balance. Now this is the alkalinity part of the water. So there's a spectrum from 0 to 10, 0 being really acidic and 10 being really high in pH. So, you know, the World Health Organization says that we should be running our blood pH should be around about a 7. So when we're looking at water, we need to be looking at a pH level of around about 8 is a really good quality. Now, sometimes you can't get that on the back of different water bottles, but definitely the TDSs you will be able to. Okay, so that's what I sort of talk about in regards to water quality. So great segue into talking a little bit about bottled water. Now, bottled water, again, there's a little bit of controversy about bottled water is, you know, should we have it in bottles? You know, what's the quality? A number of companies have been caught just putting tap water into their bottle. You know, the best couple of ones that I can recommend, Avian and also Fiji water. I've personally had Fiji water from the source, which is absolutely fantastic from the Zigatoka. It flows into the Zigatoka River and you can just drink it, and it's absolutely beautiful. But both of those areas where they're bottled from are very low in sort of environmental pollutants. So obviously the quality that you're getting there is really quite good. Both of them have some really nice TDS sort of scores, and the hardness is actually quite good, and also the pH balance as well. So, you know, definitely having some really good quality bottled water. But that's half the story. Again, with bottled water, one of the things that we need to have a look at is the actual container that it's in. Now, not uncommon, people now know a lot more about BPAs, which is it is about the petrochemicals of the plastic leaching into the water. So hence why they actually got rid of plastics with BPA in it to be more safer. Now the petrochemicals actually have like a response in regards to our hormonal system, and it interrupts a lot of our hormone endocrinone system as well. That can really impact how the body actually works. So definitely the BPA sort of free bottles are a little bit better, but to be honest, sometimes we've just replaced them with another plastic. Now, even though we don't have research on those plastics, are they safer? Not really sure, but what I would sort of say is to really cut that out. Is one of the things is to have metal water bottles or glass water bottles. So as a sort of, I'll do a gratuitous plug there, metal water bottles. Now, if you can see this, okay, you might hear the sound on that. That's a stainless steel. There are aluminium ones there. I would always stay with the stainless steel. I think that's actually a little bit better in regards to the aluminium and any sort of toxins leaching into it or any heavy metals. So great time to actually have a water. Thank you. Okay. So definitely the bottle that it's actually in. Some of the things around bottles, obviously we talked a little bit about the metal bottles. The glass bottles obviously don't have a lot of contaminants that will actually come into the water supply as well. If you do have the plastic bottles, and remember, drinking water is still better, even if it's in that little plastic, is try and avoid putting it into direct sunlight. That's where a lot of those petrochemicals will leak into the water. So the more that you have it out of those plastics. In the shade is obviously a little bit better. just checking my notes, make sure that I'm covering through there. Yeah, so stainless steel, yeah, definitely. And also you've got some water bottles now that actually has some filters in it. So with the filters, look, again, it's whatever phase you're at with your water, you know, the quality of water. Some filter is better than no filter. Now, the filters in most water bottles are not as comprehensive as filtered water full stop or have it automatically plumbed in. So again, another really good segue in regards to filtered water. So again, there is so much around water. There's different strategies around water, what the right water is. You know, there is different systems that are available. Look, I'm going to talk a little bit about the water that I have, just because I'm quite passionate about it. I know it quite well. There seems to be a lot of things coming out more and more about water. So, but predominantly, you know, the reason why I went down this path myself was cost. Okay, buying a bottled water, Fiji water, maybe about $4 or $5 a bottle. Getting filtered water, obviously, it's significantly cheaper. So my current system is, you know, averages at around about 6 cents a litre. So, you know, you could actually drink it like it was free. Oh, that's a novel concept. But you know, drinking water through a filter system is going to be cheaper. And then it's trying to work out which system. Now, most systems will be fairly expensive up front, but it's obviously going to save you a little bit of money. So, you know, the ones that I know of, reverse osmosis is used to be the gold standard, sorry. Obviously, there's some iodines filtered these days. That system has revolved around trying to get a really high peak currents. To be honest, that's not my preference. I'd rather a more holistic view and trying to get as natural as possible. So the system that I use is a filtered and mineralized system. So what that does is go through a 10-stage mineral process, filtration process, and then it adds some minerals back into it, and then pulls out heavy metals with a bit of a magnet. So to me, that's probably one of the best qualities that I can actually get. Now, this is not a sales talk call, but if you're interested, just say water treatment system, WTS, and I'm happy to send you some links around the water treatment system that I use. But one of the things that when you're buying one, have an understanding in relation to the size of the filter. So 0.2 to 0.05 microns is probably the best standard. Now, you won't be able to see this too well, but this is just having an understanding in regards to all the different sort of minerals that are actually based in tap water. And even though that our quality of tap water is significantly better than other places, is that, you know, we've still got you know, some things to think about there. ORB, bioavailability, the minerals that are in there, the heavy metals that are there, but the big one is the THM chlorophylls. You know, they're the ones that are deadly, and all your filters should be fairly good. Obviously, I mentioned fluoride is very difficult to get out of the water, so the water is ideal. So the one that I was using, again, as I was sort of talking about, you know, 10-stage filtration, the ceramic is probably the most important, and that's what we're talking about with the microns. But there's a ceramic filter, and then there's a, you know, activated, you know, carbon. There's silver in there to reduce bacteria growth. There's natural stones that release calcium, iron, magnesium, potassium, silicon, and other trace elements. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you can add into the water. So, you know, don't underestimate in regards to how critical water can be in relation to your overall health. Now, I've done this for plenty of, you know, hundreds of clients and changing their quality of water, and they're surprised how much a difference it makes. A lot of pains go, but, you know, the best way is to try it out for yourself. Is that, you know, our tap water is fairly good, but there's another level you can go to. So that's all I'm suggesting through there. Okay, so just summarising, thank you for joining us. You know, some of the things that we've talked about, obviously, you know, why they're important was why water was important. Also, Also the bottled water, how that sort of fits in. Filtered water goes in through there. So they're the critical things that I would cover. Again, I thank you for joining us. The last thing while finalising, if you like this health tip, please share with others. We've also got a health and fitness Facebook group. So again, if you're interested in that, just put FB in regards to your comments. So Facebook group, and I'm more than happy to send it to you. So I'm just checking for any sort of questions that people may have. More than happy to sort of take those. We do have one person with us at the moment. Any questions? No, none at all. Great. Okay. Well, thanks for joining me. Hope you've got some real benefit out of that. And look, you know, send some comments on there, either like about the water treatment system, WTS, the daily health and fitness group. Just put Facebook group on the comments, and I'll get back to you and I'll send you the link. So have a great day, and look forward to catching up with you soon. Bye.